Come on, Mike, hurry up. Oh, this could be. That was pretty good. It was in slow motion.
I know.
There we go.
Moonwalk.
All right. So, ready?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Shift Happens. Week number 255. I feel like a Oompa Loompa sitting here.
Let's everybody stare at the new guy.
No.
Do you feel like an Oompa Loompa sitting between these guys?
Yeah, I feel really short.
I mean, I like.
What do you get when you guzzle down sweets?
It concerns me. He knows
He
that.
knows the words. I knew the tune, I didn't know the words.
You got a glare? You guys got a glare up there?
Weird.
Ooh.
Ow!
So
Wait,
George,
George has to be blind.
That's not going to break the camera lens, is it?
I hope it doesn't.
That's a nice camera. I want that.
So we got a guest here. Introduce yourself.
Wyatt Tyler, I'm a chiropractor in Winterset, Noseville, Iowa.
Do you have a Twitter account?
I do not.
Do you have a Facebook?
I do?
You will get a couple friend requests. I advise you not to accept them
Okay.
because they will post after this video.
Yep.
I'm very serious. We'll tell you their names when we're done. I'll give you 3 of them right off the top when we're all done. And I'm very serious because you won't want them on your page because it's bad. So, what are we going to talk about today? We'll talk about Wyatt here in a little bit. But let's first, should we talk about chiropractic? And we're just going to get to this. You probably wonder why that the bag is sitting up there. First of all, I'd like to give a disclaimer. We're not opposed to supplementation.
Definitely not opposed to
It's a
it.
great thing. As a matter of fact, I take supplements.
I do as well.
So before the mail comes in and says, you guys don't believe in supplementation, we are firmly all for it. I think it's great. As a matter of fact, I was at Menards last Saturday, and Menards has a health and wellness aisle full of supplements. So,
As does Walgreens.
so if you want to be like Walgreens or Menards or Walmart or
Target or CVS.
Target or CVS or like any other big box store, I think it's great that they carry them, and I have nothing against it. Not against any type. Well, I'm against exercise. I wish I could sit on the couch and get in shape and look like my kid, but that's not working because she's got muscles and guns, and now we got to do it. Now she's making us do what she does. So I think that stuff is great, and I don't do that again. And Matt showed his muscle. Well, but here we had a bag sitting up here a few weeks ago, a week ago today actually. One of our patients, we won't say their name, was out of town. She gets checked twice a week, and she said, "Hey, I need a chiropractor where I'm at." So I said, well, I gave her the name of a doc who they weren't in town, they were on vacation. So she searched another one up from a friend of a friend where she was at, and they called this office on Wednesday. And the front desk person said, "Oh, you need to book now. We only have 1 or 2 appointments available." Now, first of all, I find that really hard to believe. You only have 1 or 2. What I think is really weird, is it 1? Or is it 2? Or is it a scam or a game to get people scheduled because we only have so many? So she goes in and she gets checked, and our office has for about 25, 26 years. We check her spine for vertebral subluxation. And the reason we have vertebral subluxation is because it's the body's inability to adapt to
2 T's and an A.
to 2 T's and an A,
Yep.
which are, what are they called for our chiropractic
I call
audience?
them different words than you do, but.
Traumatism, toxins, and autosuggestion. That's my wife. Hi, honey.
Hi!
And so it's
Hi, Sean.
traumatism, toxins, and autosuggestion. When the body has the inability to adapt, we have the physical manifestation called the vertebral subluxation sets in. As a chiropractor, what we do is we check for vertebral subluxation, and if necessary, we
Adjust.
so the body can
Adapt.
That's what we do. So
It's
that's
like
what.
you brainwashed us or something.
Ooh, I put him in. It'll happen to you, Wyatt, a little bit. We're gonna put you in a room, and this thing goes back and forth, and then I say Hare Krishna.
Don't drink the red cup.
He puts the notion.
We'll give you an updated auto trainer.
Dude, serious one. So she goes, that's what I want to happen to me. So she goes in to get checked for vertebral subluxation, and she goes, it was weird. I walked in, and there was like walls with 400 or 500 bottles of something in them. She goes, and instantly I felt awkward because I wanted to get adjusted because that's what I do, so the body can adapt. So she goes into the room, And we're not gonna go through that whole process, other than he did say you've probably heard of me. Self-absorbed, I mean, that's a bigger ego than me. And I admit I have an ego. So, go ahead, you can say it.
What?
I mean, go ahead and say it, I have an ego, go ahead and say it.
Page 14 of the.
Oh, yeah, no, that's page 15 now.
15, okay, or 15, yeah.
Of the what? You're keeping track from my obituary?
Your eulogy.
From my eulogy, you're gonna read it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're on 15 pages now?
I've written it, so of course I'm gonna read it.
Do I have the deadline date, or do you know?
No,
the date?
we haven't inserted that yet.
Okay. Will you give me a heads up?
It's an editable PDF.
What do you have, like you got a week,
To be
dude?
determined.
Yep, well, I'll let you know.
You give me the expiration date?
I'll let you know.
So, he checks her, and then he proceeds to tell her how she needs supplements. And she doesn't need to get adjusted. What she needs to do is, if she would get on a regular regime of supplementation, his program, and she wouldn't need to get adjusted. And so she comes in here, and she's telling me this, and I was like, I'm really sorry. And she goes, I love this, read this. I felt creepy when I went in there because he tried to sell me on all of his vitamins. And everybody left, would walk in with an empty bag, and they would leave with the bag. Now, disclaimer, not opposed to supplementation. Not opposed to people selling them. So before you got all hot under the collar and start sending me messages, it will happen. I mean, we'll get them. I'm not opposed to it. What angers me is she went in there to get adjusted. And it never happened. Matter of fact, he never adjusted her. He kept trying to sell her on his vitamins and his supplementation program. She goes, I want adjusted. And finally she goes, I'm leaving. I forgot to tell you this. Even though he never checked her spine, even though he tried to sell her his stuff, he sent her a bill for $165 for an office visit. All he did for 10 minutes, she told me this on, she's coming today, she told me this on Wednesday.
Oh my gosh.
All he did for 10 minutes is explain to her how getting adjusted, like she's been doing for the last 20 some odd years, has 5 grandbabies and does things like a grandmother should do, and then some. And all he did was try to sell her vitamins. Never ever checked her spine. And sent her a bill for $165. And she goes, what do I do? I said, don't pay, because what did he do? Nothing, tried to sell you a product. So where I come with this is that I've said this for a long time, along with those chiropractic friends of mine, we should have a uniform system of what we look for. Or if you're not going to do that as a chiropractor, put like something behind your name. So that's why the bag is there, because it infuriated me, because we sent her out to get adjusted. And she even came in today, she goes, she told me Wednesday, she goes, had I not been under care for 25 years and known what you guys do, I mean, everyone in this office except Wyatt has checked her. She goes, I would have thought instantly, she goes, I'd have thought instantly chiropractors are a bunch of charlatans and quacks. She goes, because all he did was try to sell me on stuff.
And even if you were going to a nutritionist like that, doesn't sound like he did any type of testing.
None.
So it's like, how do you know that the body would need that same?
He instantly said, this is what you need. You're going to need this.
He's that good. He can just look at somebody and tell you need this, and this 10 times a day.
And now, importantly, and then we'll get into why, let you guys say, and she did tell me this, he doesn't dress as good as us.
Who does?
Well, we did have our critic.
We did.
He unfriended me.
Darn it.
Yeah. So, I guess you didn't know about this, but somebody didn't like me, so he got so mad at me he was going to eat my liver.
Well, occasionally the trash takes itself out when they unfriend themselves.
And Wyatt Tyler, friend him on Facebook. I didn't say that. So, do you have anything that we're going to let?
I want to hear more about Wyatt.
So, Wyatt, sorry about that. So, Wyatt's been here since this morning. Flew in on his private helicopter, landed out in the helo pad out back. So, Wyatt, tell us about you.
You want to know about my chiropractic history? Is that what
I'd rather do that than why you like the Packers, because that embarrasses me.
That's just bad.
Brett Favre.
Just
He was a Jet, just so you know.
I know.
Okay.
I like the Jets
Yeah.
more for that season. But my chiropractic history,
It's a cool story. You told me this.
Oh, we gotta hear it.
I got adjusted when I was in high school, and I wouldn't call it specifically, although it did help me with some problems. But my best friend decided to be a chiropractor, and I didn't really know why. But I knew that when I visited him on spring break, because he was a year ahead of me in school, that he could hook me up and his intern would adjust me. So his intern talked to me all about the subluxation and everything about that, because in high school I had terrible intestinal problems. And he talked to me about that. He goes, well, maybe that was from your spine or something going on with that. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't care. I didn't know that I even believed in anything he just said. All I knew was my back hurt and I wanted to get adjusted. And then I seen the knee chest table for the first time. I got my T10 adjusted the first time in my life, and I had an instant change on the table.
Who's the chiropractor, if you don't mind saying?
Joel Marley
Okay.
was the chiropractor that adjusted me. And at that point, I'm like, wow, I need to find the bathroom. And about a week later, I applied to chiropractic school because it was very obvious that there was something to what he said about the vertebral subluxation. And I'd never heard it before, and I thought it was a bunch of crap that I grew up in near Des Moines, Iowa. And chiropractic started in Iowa, and I knew nothing of it. And I was getting ready to graduate high school, and why wasn't it in our history books? Why don't I know anything about this? And, you know, I say I'm jealous all the time of kids that get adjusted from birth, but I don't know that I can be completely jealous, because if I had been, I probably wouldn't have had my intestinal problems the way I did.
And you probably would be a chiropractor.
And I probably wouldn't be a chiropractor, so I have no complaints that I went through those years of pain to get to where
That's
I am.
good recognition. I haven't thought of it that way. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
So you've been in practice how long? 5 years?
Yeah, I'm in my 5th year. Yep.
So in your 5 years of practice, what's been your biggest aha moment? You're like, whoa, this is pretty cool, or whoa, this has got to happen, or whoa, Sean Walker wears cool shoes.
Yeah, very cool. Everybody in the office has cool shoes. I feel like I got 2 traditional shoes.
You should feel a little naked right now.
Amazon.
Amazon? yeah.
So what's been your biggest, like, whoa, this happened in my practice, and it's just, not that it's solidified why you're a chiropractor, because you already got that. But
Right. I guess the big aha is I guess I have frequent ones. It's when the patients don't tell you something, and then the body takes care of it just because you're freeing up their innate intelligence to take care of what it should. Like I've got some Spanish-speaking patients that I've had a lot of fun with Sean with those this morning, where they don't tell you anything, or I don't understand them, and then I find out through the grapevine that one girl wasn't having her period for 8 months, and then all of a sudden starts care and she's having her period, and then she gets pregnant and has a baby. That's a great aha moment, sort of thing. And then there's the guy while I was in chiropractic school who was having problems that older gentlemen face as far as getting the blue pill for. He came in the clinic for low back pain, gets adjusted, and then he no longer needs that little blue pill.
I had to think for a second what he was talking about.
And,
I was thinking of the Matrix, the blue pill with the red.
Yeah. So
That
then
seems to where my mind went.
So he didn't get unplugged then.
right. So then he comes back and goes, how's the lower back pain doing? And he goes, it still hurts. And he goes, but I can function again or whatever. And then you ask him about low back pain. He goes, who gives a shit? So, I mean, it's just little aha moments all the time.
So where do you, as we wind down here, where do you see, as I like to ask our guests, where do you see the profession going?
Where do I see it going, or where do I want
And just so
it?
you know, before you answer that, because you don't have to be politically correct on that, in a thesis I wrote, I wrote, if chiropractic kids doesn't have a wake-up call, that how we know chiropractic is chiropractic, it won't survive the next generation of chiropractors. Because, as we talked about, the big box salesman, we won't see another generation of chiropractors that adjust. So you don't have to say it's going to be great, whatever. And if you feel that way, please do. But where do you see chiropractic going?
If I'm going to predict the future for chiropractic, I don't think it's a good future.
That's where I'm at too.
I honestly feel like there is no foundation, and 99% of chiropractors coming out of school without any sort of foundation, it's easy to get washed away. Especially when you don't even know who you are or what you do. People confused about what a subluxation is when they walk across the stage is really pretty sad. So I don't see that with the exception of offices like this and places like the intern program that I was a part of, the Trox intern program, educating people on how to be a chiropractor, what you're even doing. I mean, I think the 1% can't outweigh the 99 that are killing us.
No, I agree. And so and when I wrote my thesis, so what do you feel, as Wyatt and I are still in this, but you guys look good. You always look good, Mike. What do you feel? Okay, I didn't have to tell you. So, just in case you didn't hear it today. Thanks. You're welcome. So, that's kind of a tender moment we just had, wasn't it? So, a solution. what do you think we need to do, our profession, chiropractors need to do to save the chiropractic profession so we have another generation?
I think we need to cling to our identity. The only thing we have that is separate and distinct from everything is checking and correcting vertebral subluxations. And that's what our main focus needs to be, because you can get anything else anywhere else. What supplement do I need to take? Google search it. What workout do I need to do? Google search it. You can get everything that everybody else wants to add to their practice anywhere else. But where can you get checked and adjusted for vertebral subluxation? The only place is in your chiropractic office.
I agree, and it's interesting why, because you and I, we've chatted a few times on, I don't know if there's a couple Facebook, and we've chatted a few times on Facebook, and that is the only thing that we do separate and distinct. There's nothing else, and the power of what that does, it's just the one, I'm not going to say her name, Dr. Sean, but had the really bad rotated ilium with the sacrum. 2 days ago, you did a report, and you said she'd been under chiropractor before, and nobody ever told her this. I wish I could sell her vitamins, is what she said, I think. And what's interesting is, she said, and she told me this, she goes, "You're my last resort." The cool thing, we're all chiropractors here, how many times do you hear that a day? This is my last resort.
Yeah.
So if people
Too many.
if you knew first the money that you'd save to go out and buy my gifts, what would change? So, in closing, what do you got to say, Wyatt? We're winding it down. We'll get our camera lady if she can shut the camera off.
I had a good time hanging out this morning with the fellas here at Chiro World. Thanks for having me. I look forward to bigger and better things for those principal few.
And we'll let you know who you need to block when they start friending you.
Thanks,
So,
I appreciate
all right,
it.
we'll see y'all later. Thank you.